I am joined back in the studio by Sweetie Abochi. Welcome back. Mary Poppins. But in our next story, or at least what we're looking at now, the Attorney General's Department has filed an appeal at the Supreme Court seeking to overturn a Court of Appeal ruling that acquitted and discharged Minority Leader Dr. Cassiel Ato-Forson and businessman Richard Jakpa in the highly publicized criminal trial. The Attorney General contends the majority of the judges misdirected themselves in the application of the fundamental principles regarding the standard of proof required in determining whether a case has been made for the accused persons to answer. We're going to be interrogating these issues as we also take a little bite at that conversation we just had. Government official one, Airbus SE, and the OSP exonerating former President John Dramani Mahama. But right now, I'll see to Sweetie Abochi. Who are those joining us for this conversation?
Well, we have two lawyers, Martin Kpebu and Kpebu still to join us, get some more perspective on these two issues. So let me start with you, Martin. Thank you for... can I hear Martin? Martin, you're here with us?
Yes.
Great. And
yes,
Kpebu still is also here with us.
Mm-hmm. Okay, great. Good to see you.
Yes, thank you. So let's start with the issue of this Airbus deal before we pivot into the acquittal or the appeal that the Attorney General is filing again. What do you make of this conclusion on the investigations and the naming of former President John Dramani Mahama as the government official one and the celebration of the NDC on the back of this announcement? Let me start with you, Martin Kpebu.
Well, I'll say for now, this is a truce. It's a truce, but it's not the end of that investigation. I say so because, you see, when you watch around the world, matters that are this huge, they don't just come to a close like that with the pen of the special prosecutor. You wait. In the coming years and decades, you'll see other aspects of it pop out. Because, you know, the truth of the matter, we have to speak bluntly, is that, look, corruption is so endemic in our country that I mean, it will be impossible to see such a transaction go without government officials benefiting from that transaction. I'm telling you.
But Martin, what's left to be discussed or what's left to come to light? If the Office of the Special Prosecutor is saying that there was no evidence to establish corruption or bribery in this case, what's left then to uncover?
Oh, but the Special Prosecutor is dealing with the evidence he has today. And I made the point that matters of this nature, they don't end like this. Right. You remember, look, during the Rawlings regime, he was said to have taken money from Abacha. Rawlings came and denied that he never took it. More than a decade later, he confessed that he took the money from Abacha. Look, so many stories around the world. So big stories like this don't end like that. So I'm just telling you that from my experience, you know, as we grow, you read stories from all over the world. You also begin to make inferences, and then you gain some judgment. You think MPP are happy? They are not happy, and they've made that very clear.
Right.
So definitely, even though Special Prosecutor has closed it, they will keep prowling around for evidence. So this is not the end of this matter. It's just a truce. Yes.
I'll come back to you on the AG's issue, but let me go to Kpebu Painstill now. Kpebu, what do you make of this conclusion of the investigation? Martin is saying that it's not the end of it yet, but what do you say? Kpebu Painstill, I think you have to unmute so we can hear you.
Hello?
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, what I'm saying is I agree with Martin, but for additional reasons that he has not advanced. I mean, if you look at what report the Special Prosecutor came out, it's supposed to be the outcome of investigations that he claims he undertook. And I'll be honest with you, I'm in a location where I'm engaged in other things, so I've not been I've not been able to read the entire findings that he made, except those that I saw on the net. But what I find singularly absent in what he did, first and foremost, those gentlemen who were accused of I mean, in the report that he received, obviously he couldn't get them, as he said. What it means is that whatever he's done is not informed by what information these people have. But what I found very strange is the fact that President Mahama lives with us in this country. I may be corrected. I don't know whether there is anything in the report that shows or suggests or intimates or gives direction as to what role Mahama played in contributing to the findings of fact that the special prosecutor has come away. In other words, did he give a statement? And if he didn't give a statement, why didn't he give a statement? Was he invited and he refused to give a statement? I mean, I don't understand. How do you say you have concluded an investigation? You issued whatever for people who are outside the jurisdiction, and the man who sits under your nose, you did not receive any invitation, he didn't send any invitation, he didn't make any contribution, and you claim that you have no evidence. How do you read that conclusion? The basics of any investigation is to invite the persons who are affected by your investigation, please. You know, because of historical records, don't forget that this is not the first time that Ghana has treated one of these reports. You remember that we also received some reports. I mean, I'm talking about President Kufuor's time, also from the SFO in England, where Dr. Sipayanki and whatever, it's a minister now in this government now. That one came with bank statements in which they lodged money. And
so you're basically saying that the OSP has not done a good job yet.
That is my basic point. Okay. They have not done it. And what they claim to be an investigation, I don't know. Because basic investigation in a criminal matter requires that, obviously, I mean, the witnesses, people that you invite, are not obliged. You know, whenever you get a police statement form or one of these, they tell you that you're not obliged to say anything. But whatever you say may be taken in evidence against you. Fair enough. But how could you claim upon another investigation when those who are sitting under your nose, you don't take anything from them?
Kpebu Painter, I have to interject briefly, just for the sake of time as well. Just a quick interjection. Are you saying that this makes the report, as adduced by the OSP, bogus in any way? Are you saying that if the former president was invited and he didn't honor that invitation, it waters down the findings of the OSP? Is that what you're saying?
Exactly that and more. I'm saying more than that. In other words, you will start from the evidence, historical record, that any time that we get any of these reports from these institutions outside our jurisdiction, we treat it with levity. We pretend we've gone through when indeed what we do is a check.
But Mr. Painter,
on the basis
Mr. Painter, the SFO in the UK, they did not interview former President Mahama, did they?
They did not.
So what then is your point?
Evidence. Hello?
Yes, what then is your point? The SFO, in coming through with these conclusions, did not interview Mahama either, did they?
No. You see, what happens is that, with due respect, the SFO in the UK cannot invite Mahama to their country to talk to him or whatever. But what they have done is to bring into you, this is the raw materials that we have received. And it is incumbent on our special prosecutor in Ghana to make a formal invitation. All you need to say is that we have a report with prima facie. You have been named. Okay. How did he even get to know that this is the official government one? That was stated in quotes. But we all knew. And the point of the matter is that if we have an OSP in this country who purports to be doing an investigation on the basis of what these people have sent to you, and the man that you identify now in your report, you never invited, please, I thought to be corrected. If you invited him, please. But if he did not, I will not understand.
They invited him.
Did he?
Is that Martin?
Yes, he did. They met several times. And he took interviewed him, interrogated him. He said several times. It wasn't once, it wasn't twice. And that Mahama cooperated.
With due respect, with regard to that one, then I may wish to withdraw. But then, if he interviewed him, please, then I withdraw that particular aspect of my my statement.
Okay, so just to say this, my apologies, sweetie. Are you then saying that if he was interviewed, then it lends credibility to it? Is that what you're saying now? Just give me a straight answer.
I say that because that's
okay, Mr. Pinto, we can't keep going for the sake of time. So I just wanted a straightforward. You said it lacks credibility because he was not spoken to. I'm saying now, if he was spoken to, does it give it credibility?
No, in part. My statement.
In part. Okay.
What I said was in part.
Okay.
In other words, that's the first point that Martin made. But Martin said that notwithstanding that, if you read the report, I read the concluding part. He himself indicated that this may not be the end of his report, and that based on if he receives further evidence, then he knows what to do.
All right.
Okay, so let's focus now on this appeal that the Attorney General has filed at the Supreme Court, true to his words, seeking to overturn that ruling from the Court of Appeal. And the crux of the Attorney General's appeal is that in criminal cases, the prosecution must prove guilt of the accused beyond a reasonable doubt. And he believes, the Attorney General believes, that the Court of Appeal did not apply this principle correctly, and leading to that, should I say, erroneous acquittal. What is your argument? Let me start with you, Martin Kpebu.
Yeah, so, sweetie, the thing is that I struggle to understand what the Attorney General is doing. Yeah, in terms of being law, yes, but let me first say, I appreciate that he has a right to appeal. But where the situation is untenable, you don't appeal. You see, look at history. The Attorney General was lawyer for Kpebu, former Foreign Affairs Minister in the Kufuor regime. He was charged together with Jima, the Managing Director of NIB at the time, for causing financial loss, procurement law breaches, etc. The Court of Appeal struck down everything, similar like this. I don't remember the Attorney General pursuing an appeal, even if they filed a notice. I'm not sure, but there's no appeal was done in the Supreme Court. So sometimes you look at the evidence. Godfrey Dami has to eat the humble pie. He has to eat humble pie that, listen, this one, he plowed ahead wrongly. We kept warning him that, Master, go and take the money. But he was interested in the political vendetta. Yeah, you know, that he can get the minority leader in jail. Then they can go for the seat. You heard all the things in the Japa revelation. I mean, it's one case that has embarrassed and damaged Ghana. So he should have put an end to this case a long time ago. So this appeal further, reminds us and further entrenches the embarrassment we suffered. That's why I said I'm struggling to understand what he's doing. Here you are, Godfrey Dami. You were caught on a tape, coaching witnesses because your case is bad. Meeting in Justice Kulendi's house, something that we've said Kulendi should also resign, etc. And then he's going on and on. That's the thing is about him personally. Is he the only lawyer in Ghana? Well, his only lack is that President Kufuor is so corrupt. Everything Dami was trying to do was to further their corrupt ends so that there will be a by-election.
Martin Kpebu, where you are veering into now is a bit problematic, that the president is corrupt and that the AG was conniving with him to engage in corruption. I think you can make your point without stating those.
Oh, listen, oh dear, Mr. Kapu, I feel very strongly about it. It's all about the corruption. That's why this trial went on. It's the basis of it that let's use any means, foul or fair, to be able to get Atuforsen out so that there will be a by-election and that they will pump money to the people of Central Region in this constituency so that they can win the seat. I feel very strongly about it.
That is what someone said. Someone said that. Richard Jakpa brought up such.
He's not been able to contradict it.
Confirm that.
Yeah, he's not able to contradict it, and we are allowed to. Look, Akufo-Addo said certain things in opposition. He said Zoom Lions contracts, they were full of corruption, etc. When he came, did he do anything? Did he do anything? So it's the same thing. Look, this it's not, even in law, I'm allowed to say so. If we don't do this, our leaders will not change. Every time, if you just keep saying, no, don't go there, you are allowing impunity. Akufo-Addo is done us so much damage, and you are trying to protect him. Yeah, I know you are doing devil's advocate. I know you are not protecting him. Look, so let's say it to his face that he's the most corrupt president we've had, and that's the fruits of the corruption Dami was trying to harvest for him. That let's go on with this trial, even when there is no evidence. You see how they were struggling? You catch Dami on the tape, begging Japa, answer it for me that way. You answer it for me that way. There will be no trouble. There is pressure on me. Come on. So the trial judge should have stopped this trial long ago. And then we're just faced with that embarrassing situation until the Court of Appeal stepped in.
All right, Martin. All right,
okay.
All right, Martin.
Martin,
Thank you.
Just before we conclude, though, let me find out from you, Lawyer Kpebu Painso. Let me find out from you. With this process that has been initiated by the Attorney General, how do you see this concluding? It is obvious from Martin Kpebu's end that he thinks this will go nowhere, even in terms of the due process of the law. How do you see the chips falling? And I'm not asking you to state how the court will rule, but how do you see the chips falling at the end of all this?
I wish to say that I fundamentally disagree with Martin Kpebu.
You fundamentally disagree with him?
Fundamentally disagree with him. You see that half of his submission is based on evidence that came to court after this appeal was lodged. So how can he even use that evidence? And that evidence, in any case, was not before the Court of Appeal. So that the basis upon which the Court of Appeal ruled was at the end of the prosecution case. So how can you rely on evidence coming thereafter to justify? It's more of a political justification than legal justification. In any case, it is my view, my personal view, that in every case, if you want to try it, this was not even a unanimous judgment. How can you rob what do you call it, brush aside a minority, a judgment that was by a majority? You mean that the judge who ruled the minority is not of whatever? I don't understand Martin Kpebu on this matter. He's using political reasons to justify a legal matter in court. And the point I want to make is that, as a matter of law, every case travels, whether there's merit, there's no merit, every case travels. And what you claim to be merit is based on your own assessment. Why do lawyers fight? I've ever fought a case. Every time I say it on radio, I started and I have I lost. I went to court for a loss. I went to claim for a loss. I went even on review and I lost.
Right.
That is a right given by the Constitution by anybody. So it is not for you when you reach a certain point that you get a judgment. Why is it for the first time that a matter reaches the Court of Appeal and people want to use political pressure to stop the Attorney General from exercising a right that is conferred on him and every Ghanaian by the Constitution of this country? I'm totally surprised, and I want to make this clear.
Okay. Final point, Mr. Painso.
Yes. Yeah, so the point I'm making is that with due respect to all of those who are opposed to this, they rely on political reasons and not legal reasons. And as for politics, we'll leave it to where it is. But we're in a court of law, and the court of law must play this whole thing out.
All right.
And therefore, personally, I am not opposed, nor do I find any problem with the AG lodging this appeal. And we say that I very well know when it is when the Supreme Court rules that we will know, and then the matter will rest there.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for those final comments. Martin Kpebu, we can hear from you now. Hello, Martin.
My final comment. Yes. So, like he said, this case is a lesson to us, and that Godfrey Dami should go for the money from Big C quickly. Because what is happening is that if he doesn't go for that money, hopefully when a new administration comes, which will not be his party, not the MP, I will personally petition for him to be prosecuted for causing financial loss. So he better go to Big C and get them to refund the money or whatever it takes to make sure that we got value, because he said we didn't get value. Big C tendered, offered to pay and he refused. So if that is so, he must go back and try to convince them, whichever way, sort out this. Otherwise, next year, I will petition for his prosecution, that Dami be prosecuted as well.
All right, gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us for this conversation. Interesting times ahead as we head to the apex court and see what happens. Of course, it's the question of the legal vacation, legal holiday, and all of that comes into the picture. We'll see how this matter goes.
But before we go, if you're stressed out about your cleaning needs, worry no more, because Dance World Services is your one-stop shop that meets all your commercial and residential cleaning needs, from pest control, janitorial and house cleaning, event cleaning, and waste management, even carpet and sofa. Whether at home or at work, we understand and know how haptic cleaning can be coupled with your busy lifestyle. And we've got great news for you. Dance World Environmental and Facility Management Services has got you covered. And we excel in whatever we do, leaving you beyond expectation. You can locate us at Excel House, opposite Regimanol Estate in Nungua Barrier, or simply call 0302-905-538 or 0555-752361. Dance World Services, beyond expectations. There's still more coming your way. We'll be back in a jiffy.